Всем привет! С вами Стажень. И новая игра. Я решила не откладывать прохождение еще одной имеющейся части Шерлока Холмса. Потому что если я что-то откладываю, я потом могу к этому не вернуться. А не хочется не возвращаться к Шерлоку. Потому что две игры, которые мы прошли, они были просто отличные. Так что начнем. Насколько я знаю, по интерфейсу она больше похожа как раз на дочь дьявола, чем на наследие. Потому что она более новая.
Holmes! Holmes, will you stop that? You are utterly mad.
Диалоги можно
Stop, Holmes!
Is that you, Watson?
погромче
Yes, of
сделать.
course it is. And you almost killed me.
Nonsense. I was aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded.
Watson, quiet, please. I'm trying to concentrate. Ah, Lestrade. What is it this time?
He can see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. A gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter, has been murdered.
A sailor, most probably.
What happened here?
Oh, Mr. Holmes, how could you?
It's the only exercise I've had all week. A grateful client from Limoges sent me a vase collection this morning. I couldn't think of a better use for it.
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
Given you were blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
Am I the only sane one here?
I suppose that Watson is right, Inspector. A little brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more about Black Peter.
Peter Carey, born in 1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia. Retired in 1884 with a small fortune. He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years, and where he was found dead yesterday.
Has the investigation already begun?
Yes and no. In fact, this crime is so mysterious that I would prefer you to join me down there.
Give me half an hour to prepare, Inspector.
Take your time and join me there. I have to go through the yard first. The merry men struck again.
What have they done this time?
They robbed a powder reserve. I'll meet you at Woodman's Lee, Mr. Holmes.
I should help Mrs. Hudson here. I also have several appointments that I must keep this afternoon.
I shall go alone then.
Так, что тут? Так. О! Че это вы на него настроены? Туда. Что ты тут делаешь, Холмс? Ой, господи, что так мотает?
You go along to Peter Carey's house. Mrs. Hudson and I will take care of the mess you've made here. You go along to Peter Carey's house. Mrs. Hudson and I will take care of the mess you've made here.
Oh, what a mess! What a terrible mess!
Ух, я чё так
A map of
резко.
London and the surrounding area. It could be useful.
Сколько рогов? Ватсон, я у тебя пошаришь? Все точно такое же, обалдеть. На протяжении 3 игр все осталось одинаковым.
My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
Так, ладно, нет пока. Да нет, не хочу ничего. Все. Выйти. А нам надо было выбрать какой-то, да? А как лучше туда идти? Недоступны. Недоступно. Все недоступно. Это недоступно. А что вы говорите, выберите костюм?
My analysis table. It is useful for my work. This is where I keep my post. My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
А, загрузочка такая. Помню, помню.
Mr. Holmes, I'm over here. Come on.
Что такое-то? О. А как сюда? Смотреть.
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Да, слишком идеальный прямо.
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him. I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
My condolences, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Вот тут еще выбирать.
Do you remember at what time you found your husband's body?
In the morning, at around 7 o'clock, I noticed the cabin door was open, but I didn't go in to take a look, for I knew my husband would not have liked it. At around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door and... oh dear.
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh no, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really have many friends. We lived quite an isolated life here, after his retirement.
Madam, can you tell me if you saw or heard anything unusual upon the night of the murder?
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream. But I thought nothing of it then. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
Can you please tell me what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin before passing out.
The garden is very large and well maintained. Do you employ someone to look after it?
It is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband took care of it himself.
Не понял, что... Что это по времени?
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes. Life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
Чё?
Never mind.
Ой. Подождите, а как, что там можно выбрать?
You have indeed.
Yes.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
Never mind.
Ну ладно,
Thank you, madam.
видимо, это потом. А где тело-то? А, там.
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin. We took care not to touch anything. Peter Carey...
Mr. Holmes?
The door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the evidence.
Ah, good thinking.
Hello, hello, hello.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see.
Ну, садовник пришел на работу, пытался взять инструменты. Дверь.
These scratches are fresh. You're right. Someone tried to force open the door.
I swear these scratches were not here yesterday.
Our mysterious visitor came here last night.
Well, he's not the man for the job. This lock is not a difficult one.
Perhaps he did not have the right tool.
А тела не будет, да? О!
What a terrible way to die.
Да уж.
The tooth of a sperm whale, probably from one of Peter Carey's catches.
Так, а почему она не зеленая?
Dundee. Hammerfest. It's a whaling map.
Что тут хотите от меня? А,
This place is not covered with dust, like the rest of the shelf. An object was taken from here. It was larger than a book, a box or a small chest, perhaps. The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain. Harpoons for hunting whales. Peter Carey's boots. They look to be a size 8.
Зачем нам его ботинки?
Old navigation instruments, nothing interesting.
Куча бутылок. Чего-то. Рома?
The Sea Unicorn. She was the ship that Peter Carey commanded.
Либо какое-нибудь масло там. 2 стакана.
Rum, a sailor's drink. Someone drank from this glass recently. It seemed that Captain Carey was enjoying a drink before he met his death.
2.
The initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work. This aroma is familiar, but to recognize it, I must construct my associations in one picture.
Что это? Как... Что это такое? Она не двигается никуда. Воу, 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 воу. Так.
Yes. This is a coarse tobacco, quite strong and very popular among sailors.
Ну ладно, теперь к делу.
The weapon fully penetrated the body. The force of the blow was immense.
Молодой мужчина.
This man is in his 50s, yet he still looks quite strong.
Его бывший товарищ.
Peter Carey was fully dressed. He was not caught by surprise. It is possible that he knew his murderer. This wooden handle is plain and solid. This blood is from the pool underneath the dead body. Peter Carey tried to defend himself with this knife, but he did not succeed. JHN are probably the initials of the owner of this notebook.
Так. Кто это? Что есть в этом блокнотике?
The pattern of the blood stain indicates that the notebook was not lying on the floor prior to the crime, but it was dropped into the pool of blood after the death of Peter Carey.
Вау. Так, есть тут Питер Керри.
These abbreviations mean something, but what?
Заберем. Все? Больше внизу ничего не посмотрим?
Peter Carey was impaled to the wall by a whaling harpoon.
Так, видимо, что-то у него осталось после всяких путешествий. Здесь лежало. Это пришли и забрали. Ладно, что тут у нас можно? Что там было найти пару связанных? Ха.
Ha! Someone was here yesterday. They attempted to force the door to gain entry.
Так, точно ничего, да? А еще что-нибудь можно тыкнуть? Как? Так, попробуем еще раз не поговорить. Туда никак. Туда никак. Задолжал кому-то. Новенькое.
Is this your husband's tobacco pouch?
I'm not sure. It might be. But he hadn't smoked in a very long time.
Так, кто-то у него точно был.
Your husband's private papers. Do you know where they are?
There was a small tin box, barely larger than a book. He kept his papers there. It should be somewhere in his cabin.
Так, и что?
You have indeed.
Yeah.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
Как можно
Never mind.
что-то выбрать? Где? Как? Откуда выбирать? Я не понимаю.
Thank you, madam.
Ну что, до завтра тут сидеть будет? Сколько животных. Давайте засаду уже.
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
I think that we are lucky
And why is that?
because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oh, you've lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why, return tonight, when they will be better prepared.
Aha! So what do you propose?
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best chance of catching sight of our visitor. Well, gentlemen, ready your pistols. We have a long night ahead of us.
Когда мы будем прятаться? Что это значит?
The ship's locked.
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin, near the window.
Mr. Holmes?
This window is locked from the inside. I do not see any attempt at a break-in.
Где хижина? В смысле, вы имеете в виду вон тот большой дом? Где тут прятаться? Тут вообще пчелы летают, тут нельзя прятаться. Это небезопасно. А, ты хочешь, чтобы я включила это?
These boots don't match the footprints. These footprints appear to be quite large.
Требуется улика. То есть чей-то другой сапог. Садовника, например. А как их посмотреть? Или пока не надо?
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin, near the window.
This looks like the perfect hiding place.
Perfect.
Did you hear that? There's someone there. I'm gonna collar him.
I'll be right behind you.
Police! Hold it right there.
Ой.
All right, my fine fellow. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
Innocent? And what are you doing in his cabin?
Shall I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter Carey, but we were here waiting for you.
What is your name?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't...
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but yes, it's just that I couldn't...
I'm tired of this. Off we go to the yard. Tomorrow, I'll see that you're put in front of the judge.
What? But you can't! I'm not... It's a terrible mistake!
Enough. You can explain all of that to the judge. You're coming with me to the yard.
But...
In light of recent events, it seems evident that your coming here was unnecessary. All the same, I'm very grateful to you, Mr. Holmes.
You are welcome, Inspector, but please don't be too hard on our young fellow. I would like to question him tomorrow morning.
Блокнот явно его. Но я думаю, тот бы с пацаном справился. Тут должен быть крепкий кто-то.
Mr. Holmes? Good morning, Mr. Holmes. Can I help you?
Good morning, Constable. I would like to speak to the fellow who was arrested at Woodman's Lee last night.
Ah, the young man. He's waiting in the interrogation room. You can go straight through. His belongings are held in the evidence room.
Thank you.
Так, сначала лучше вещи посмотри.
Mr. Holmes?
These are the suspect's belongings. The notebook that we found on Peter Carey's cabin floor.
Так.
From R. Dawson. To my friend and partner, 1883. Dawson. I've seen this name before. Perhaps my archive holds the answer. A handkerchief with the initials J.H.N. A pocket knife. It was used to force the door of Peter Carey's cabin. These abbreviations mean something, but what?
Улика. Ну ладно, спросим его прямо. Ой,
Locked.
Не. Ага, забросики. Так. Как дела, пацан? Смешно лампа приделана.
Does this notebook belong to you?
Yes. But where did you find it? I did not know... I thought I'd lost it at the hotel.
What do these abbreviations mean?
Oh, no. I beg you, I can't. If I told you, it would only make things worse.
But I will find out eventually, Mr. Nelligan. The sea knife was found near Carey's body. Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, did Mr. Carey try to defend himself or to attack you with it?
I don't know. I didn't kill anyone.
The police seized this valuable ring from you. Whose is it?
I didn't steal it from anyone. It has always belonged to me.
Ой, надо вот на это нажимать.
The ring's date of engraving is many years ago. You would have been a child then, hardly in any position to receive such an item from a partner.
Ну вот, с той женщиной не получилось. Только же. Ха. Странно, странно. Ты чё это? Чье одел?
So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
No, Mr. Nelligan. I believe that the ring had belonged to your father.
Oh, but how do you know?
The jacket you are wearing is made of an expensive fabric that only a man of exceptional wealth could afford. You do not seem to me to be a rich man, Mr. Nelligan. Furthermore, the garment is ill-fitting. It is quite clear that it belonged to someone else, most probably your father. With your father gone and taking with him the family's wealth, as a little boy you had to find yourself a manual job, and it was most probably cleaning fish. You cut your hands often while working. I can tell from the scars.
I'm speechless, Mr. Holmes. It all happened exactly as you say.
А то.
Well, I will see you soon, young man.
Please, let me go. I'm innocent.
Ну, мы еще посмотрим. Так. Подождите, как, чё, куда, чё цеплять? Ну, может, его отправили. Так, а почему-то скорость... А, быстро. Инстинктивно. Ха-ха. Ну, не обязательно кинуть же. Это явно тот, кто прямо...
I need to stage a reconstruction. I'm sure that Watson would be happy to oblige.
Будем Ватсона кидать гарпун. В общем, это явно должен быть тот, кто действительно был китобоем. Кто умеет кидать гарпуны.
Locked.
Хочу сюда посмотреть, что за морд. Так, его уже сюда принесли? Нет? Ну ладно. Так, а больше-то мы ничего не можем сделать? Нет. Нет. Ну почему? Ну хотя я думаю, тут больше, да, ничего, раз оно выключилось. А можно еще раз к женщине сходить? Искать в архиве, да-да-да. Попробуем. Вдруг она там. Мадам, вы еще тут? Это хорошо. Попробуем.
You have...
Yeah.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
Не знаю, как он узнал. О Плимуте? Как мы узнали о Плимуте? Как паломничество? Там больше вроде ничего не было. А люди-то где? Вот люди. Я так и не знаю, что нам про Плимут.
You undertook a pilgrimage to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela when you were young. That much is evident from the rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to Spain is from Plymouth. I believe that you met Peter Carey as a young sailor there, and you married him soon afterwards.
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How extraordinary.
Thank you, madam.
Who could do such a thing?
Окей.
My poor husband.
Теперь со спокойной совестью можно ехать к Ватсону. Ой. И стрелять в него гарпуном.
A map of London and the surrounding area.
Так,
It could be useful.
Тоби. Привет.
Brave Toby. The best nose in the British Empire.
Что он у нас опять делает? Нет, я хотела в архив.
A spot of whaling, Watson. Would you care to take part?
Are you serious?
No. But we do need to clarify what happened on the night of Black Peter's murder.
A reenactment, then? Is something bothering you?
The sailor's knife, Watson. Why was it on the floor?
Peter Carey attempted to defend himself?
It is possible. But if that is the case, then it alters many things.
I don't quite follow you.
Tell me, my friend, what is the animal closest to man, morphologically, I mean?
Ah, I see what you're getting at, Holmes. You asked me that once before. On the Ripper case, I believe. Do you want to slit some more pigs' throats?
No.
Thank goodness for that.
I wish to impale one with a harpoon.
Wonderful.
Watson, let us pay a visit to our butcher friend in Whitechapel. We require the carcass of a well-fed pig.
And the harpoon?
One of the harpoons on the wall of Black Peter's cabin should do quite nicely.
Я надеюсь, ты его взял с собой автоматически.
My analysis table. It is useful for my work.
Так, ой-ой-ой-ой-ой. Рлех?
That is not the one I need.
Ну, камон. Так, по-моему, это не здесь. Ой. Ну нет уже здесь.
That is not the one I need.
А. Другие вещи. Вот как оно передвигается.
That is not...
Да вы чё? Окей. А, подожди, 83-й, так?
That is not the one I need. That is not the one...
А, Неллиган. Как это я пропустила?
Here it is. Now I begin to understand that young man's story, but I am still unclear as to what connects him with the murder. It is time to ask him.
Давайте все-таки сначала
I
это.
need to take a harpoon with me.
О, камон. Не мог это раньше сказать? Мадам, здравствуйте еще раз. Я от вас кое-что позаимствую.
That should do it. Now I am ready for the experiment.
Это так и...
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 8...
Надо запомнить. Вот он.
Well, here we are in the preparation room. I can't say that I like the smell of it much. What do you intend to do?
To indulge myself in a little experiment. The challenge of lancing a pig's carcass with a heavy harpoon.
A little experiment?
Stand aside, Watson. This might be dangerous. I am not well practiced in this exercise, yet.
Holmes, you should aim for the mark in order to perform the most reliable test.
Ух, так.
Holmes, you should try to aim better and throw as hard as you can.
Ай. Да ё-моё. Я не очень понимаю, как целить.
The harpoon has struck the body, but with insufficient strength to pierce it straight through.
А чё хочешь, что проткнули ее? Вау. Конечно,
This is
одно
the
и то
best
же
possible
место.
result that I could get. Do you see, Watson? Throwing a harpoon and pinning a man to a wall requires either exceptional strength and training or diabolical luck.
If it was luck, then it was a chance in 1,000 that night.
Well, yes. Let us leave now.
All right. But before we go, I suppose I'll have to pay for all these carcasses you've happily mangled.
Very well, but please hurry.
Of course.
Такой. Ну, отлично вообще. Так, а почему... Почему надо... А, я уж что-то подумал, что мы завацало. Так, тогда нам снова Скотланд-Ярд. Что появился, требуется усилия. Ну, маловероятно, вряд ли это удачный бросок. Двое вместе? Допустим. Можно же поменять, по идее. Так, пока мы остального ничего не знаем. Ничего не соединяется. Так, а тут сохранение автоматическое.
Mr. Holmes?
I have heard the story of Dawson and Nelligan, the West Country bankers.
Yes. Joshua Nelligan was my father.
I am aware that it had a bad ending. When the bank failed, it ruined half the families of Cornwall, whereupon Joshua Nelligan disappeared.
My father was under extraordinary pressure. Dawson had retired. I was only 10 years of age at the time, but it was still old enough to feel the shame that befell our family. My father was convinced that he could pay off all his debts if the creditors gave him time. He set sail for Hammerfest in Norway in his small yacht, just a few days before an arrest warrant was issued. He left my mother a list of the securities he was taking. No word was ever heard from him again. We believed that his vessel went down, taking with it everyone and everything on board.
Thank you for the story, Mr. Nelligan. At last, we are making some progress. Interesting. Joshua Nelligan and Peter Carey were both at sea in Norway. There is definitely some connection between Peter Carey and Joshua Nelligan's disappearance.
Так, а вот теперь в судовой журнал идти, да?
Locked.